Hello everyone, I am Emmanuel Rosales. I am a specialist and medic with the Oregon Army National Guard. And if you want to know a little bit about the Inter-Service Physician Assistant Program, you have clicked the right video. So IPAP is a 29-month program that is split into two phases. So you have first phase, which is your didactic phase, and then phase 2, which is your clinical phase. Phase 1 is 16 months, and it happens here in Fort Sam. And then phase 2 is your, like I said, clinicals, which is 12 months long. And for that, you're stationed at an active duty base, in which then you go through all your rotation. So I first heard about IPAP when I attended a Guard for a Day event, in which a medic mentioned to me the PA. You know, PAs in the Army are supervisors to medics. And at the time I didn't know what a PA was. Up until this point I really wanted to be a doctor, but as I grew older I kind of realized that, you know, this over decade commitment to being a doctor was quite a lot and not something I was ready for. So at the age of 17, I decided to enlist into the Oregon Guard to pursue IPAP. So a huge benefit of this program is that you don't need a bachelor's degree to apply. If you meet all the criteria, all the requirements listed on the website, they are open to considering your packet. This packet is made and put together with the help of an AMED recruiter, which the website helps you find which one is working or is meant to be working with you. The deadline is last day of February, so February 28th. And the application cycle opens on October 1st. It is a very extensive packet, so I highly recommend that you start working on it early on, once you know you're pretty committed to the program. So IPAP tends to change the requirements every year, but there are some baseline ones that you should expect that have stayed pretty consistent throughout the program's history. So for starters, GPA. Overall GPA can't be less than 2.5. Science courses GPA cannot be less than 3.0. Some prereq classes include anatomy, chemistry, psychology, at least college algebra, and English, as well as some humanities. So as of this year, grade replacement and GPA waivers are no longer allowed. So any classes that you do take will count towards your GPA. So you do have to shadow a provider, ideally a PA, very recommended to be a PA, a minimum of 80 hours, 40 of them being within 12 months of applying. For time in service, there are requirements. So for Army, it is a minimum of 3 years. However, there are waivers available if you have less than 3 years or over 10 for Guard and 15 for active duty. And finally, obviously, pass height and weight, pass your branch's fitness test, and hold a security clearance. If you've been out of school for a while, you're probably not going to like this one. You do have to take the SAT within 5 years of applying. The minimum score is 1,450, no less than 450 for English or math. Now, additionally, you are going to need a letter of recommendation, which I was required to provide one from my commander, first line leader, state surgeon, because I am in the Guard, a PA that I shadowed, as well as I could pick an extra person that knows me very well. Because I was also a specialist, I do need a letter of character, so any E4 and below does need a letter of character from your first sergeant. For those letters of recommendation, I do recommend that you ask those people early on, because they are doing you a favor, and keeping them on a time restraint really isn't doing anyone justice. So for your packet, you also need a letter of intent. And for me, I included, who I am, why I want to be a PA, what makes me a good candidate, what I've done to prepare, as well as kind of a statement saying, your commitment for the program, as well as being a provider in the Army. There is a 60 semester hour minimum requirement of coursework, 30 of which can come from military training. So if you transfer your JST to your university or college, they should be giving you some credit. In my case, I'm a medic. I transferred my JST to Chemeketa Community College, and they gave me well over 30. However, the other 30 must come from classes or courses taken online or in person. If you are from a state that offers or university that offers quarter credits, such as myself being from Oregon, make sure that you have your quarter credits, multiply them by 2, and then divide it by 3 to get the semester hour equivalent. Otherwise, you're gonna fall short. Like I mentioned, IPAP changes the requirements every year, so make sure you read the current fiscal year's MILPER message of your application cycle. Now, getting a little bit more personal, when I found out that I was competing against E7s, E8s, even some officers for slots, it was a little bit daunting and discouraging. However, comparison is the threat of achievement. Don't sell yourself short and just apply because it's free. There's a lot of work that goes into that packet, but like I said, I got in, so it's definitely possible. As for my packet, I applied with a 3.9 GPA overall and 3.8 science GPA. My SAT score was 1200 flat and my PA CAT score was 530. But as I mentioned earlier, the PA CAT score is not actually weighed against you. Because IPAP does consider both your civilian and military accomplishments, I do fall short as for my military service, being that I applied after only 3 years of being in the Guard. However, what I do think sold the board was that after basic training, AIT, and BLC, I was the honor grad for all 3, which kind of, I would imagine, sold kind of the ambitious soul that I carry with me. However, everyone's case is different. Everyone got accepted for different reasons. Everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses. So that was just my case. If you are considering applying, please, please, please start knocking out those prereqs. If you can, go ahead and start working with your AMED recruiter and see what kind of specific requirements are necessary for your branch, as well as your component. Any MOS may apply, so although it is common to see people with medical experience here, one of my buddies from Oregon was a tanker. So, and I have another classmate who's an infantryman. So there is no MOS requirement. If you want a change of course in your life, this is one of the best programs to get into, especially being a service member and having this unique opportunity. In-processing takes roughly 3 weeks. So my classes don't start until January. However, I arrived 30 November. During these weeks, I've been going, finding things to do and exploring and getting settled into San Antonio. We've been doing kind of, scattered 1-hour meetings weekly. I have an AFT tomorrow, which I should probably be in bed for by now. But I am recording this video to help any future applicants. Finally, I want to give a special thanks to Sam G here on YouTube. She's the one that gave me this idea of kind of making these update videos throughout our time at IPAP. She was here, or she started when I was in Medic AIT, which is kind of funny. But now I'm here. Please do not hesitate to leave any questions you have in the comments. I will go ahead and reply to all of them, as well as if I think I missed anything big, I'll cover it in the following videos. I'm gonna try to make these videos roughly monthly. If I can, we'll see what the coursework is like, or if there's enough material to really, talk about in these videos. Also, this is a new hobby I'm picking up of videography, so a like and subscribe would be very encouraging. So I hope to see you later, and good luck with your application process.